Hey, welcome to 40 Days of Soul Food, where we shift the conversation from what are you eating to what's eating you. Listen, Dr. Lesley said something this past Sunday that really shook me to my core. She asked the question, do you want your preference or God's purpose? Now, the obvious answer to that question is, of course, we want God's purpose, but that's not usually the case. At least that's not usually the case based off our actions. Most of the time, we want our preference over God's purpose, or we want God's purpose to be our preference. And this made me think about a story in the Bible in 2 Kings. It's a story about Naaman. Naaman was a famous general in the Syrian army, and the thing about Naaman, he had leprosy. Although he had, again, come to all of this great fame and whatnot as being a general, he still had leprosy. So one day his servant had said, hey, you should go see Elisha. He should be able to heal you of your leprosy. Naaman was like, that's a great idea. Naaman went to go see Elisha. He had all this silver and all these golds, all these gifts to bring to the prophet. And when he got to Elisha's door, Elisha sent out his messenger and the messenger told Naaman what he needed to do. The messenger basically said, Naaman, listen, we spoke to Elisha. Elisha said, go dip yourself into the Jordan River 7 times and you'll be healed from your leprosy. Now, that seems pretty easy, right? No. Naaman wasn't having that. Naaman was very mad. First of all, I came all the way out here with all these gifts and stuff like that, and you didn't even come out to see me. The Bible says he thought he would, do something real fancy, wave his hands in the air, and then be healed. But that wasn't the case. Elisha sent out his messenger. And Naaman was so mad at what he had told him that he said, forget this, I'm leaving. I'm gone. But here's the thing. Naaman left, but he left still a leper. Now, it makes me think how close we get to our breakthrough, how close we get to our healing, how close we get to the answer that we're looking for. But because it's not the way, or God presents it and God gives us the answer the way is not in our preference, we want to walk away from it. Now, here's the crossroad. What do we do when God's purpose doesn't line up with our preference? So fortunately, Naaman had one of his servants who came to him and said, listen, Naaman, if Elisha would have told you to do something powerful or something all cool and something like that, you would have done it, right? He said, well, yeah, I would have. He said, but he just asked you to dip into the Jordan. And Naaman was mad. He was saying, well, in the other water that I can dip in, I don't prefer to go into the Jordan. Surely I can go to this river. I can go to this stream. There's a whole bunch of places I could go into. But he asked him to do something that did not align with his preference, but it was the purpose of God. So the question to you today is, will you allow your preference to overrule God's purpose, or would you allow God's purpose to overrule your preference?